try to slice and dice the opinions of others that I've seen on social media over the years, and also read in books and saw articles and people commenting, and you see them on CNBC. Oh, I don't believe we should have trading goals because the first thing that comes out of their mouth, and I want you to write this down. What? I'm driving, ICT. Just make sure you make a mental note that this is what you should be doing later on, but make a note of it in your trading journal today, okay, for January 10th of 2023, that you must have a target to aim for, or you'll hit nothing. And nothing in this industry is failure. It's worse and beneath break even. So coming right out the gate, I'm just going to say that the folks that say you should not have a goal or aim for a percentage each month, number one, let me put this right out there, they don't know how to trade consistently profitable, and they're not shooting with a high accuracy rate. That's the only reason why anyone would have that opinion. Anyone. Now, I'm going to teach you in this discussion how to have a high accuracy, and you're going to see it this year. Trust me, these are the lessons that help ground you. But I'm also going to spice it up a little bit, so that way you want to do exceptionally well. You want to win competitions. You want to win friends and influence neighbors. This is the discussion for it. But write in your journal, underneath that, you have to have a goal, that anyone that has stated that you should not have a percentage return goal each month, they are misinformed or inadequate. So should you be listening to those individuals? No. Now, I'm not going to sit here this evening and try to butter you all up and talk about how you can be doing 200 R multiple trades, risking 2%. Because if anyone could do that consistently, they would put themselves on the billionaire list rather quickly. Okay. And you don't need to do a whole lot to do very well, but you need to do the one thing consistently. That means your model. And we're going to talk about that as we go. So I want to think about how I started and what got me into trading. And you've heard this, obviously, but I'm going to give you like the 3 or 4 sentence version of it. I wanted to make $1,000 a month. That was my goal. Okay. So on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. in 1992, I concocted this idea that I would aim for a way of making $1,000 per month that could be saved and put aside. And by the time I was 40 years old, I would not need to work. Now, contrast that with what you see on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, IML. Everybody wants to be a Lambo owner. Everybody wants to be, in a $2 million house now. Everybody wants to, be the best of everything that materialism can pay for. And while that's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that per se, I don't believe that young folks or older folks should look at that and say, yeah, that's why I want to get into trading. Because that, number one, that image, you have to continuously work towards maintaining it. Because once you do it, once you start it, you have to keep doing something more or you grow stale. Just look at them out there. They're all trying to get the next Ferrari. Why don't they have a Bugatti? I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted to go out and buy a Bugatti. That way I can be the first one and say, okay, catch up. $30,000 for an oil change, though, it just doesn't make sense for me. Even where I'm from, I think that's just ridiculous, but I digress. I believe that if you are paying attention as to what I'm showing you, and I guess it's a guy. I don't know if it's a guy. I'm afraid to even say that anymore. I might get canceled. But one of the subscribers and followers on my Twitter feed today was like, we want to see the truth, ICT. We want to see you calling the markets. Well, I have been. I've been doing it consistently. I'm pointing it out in your chart, on your chart live. And why am I doing that? Number one, I'm keeping myself engaged so that way when we do live streams, I'm not rusty. Because like anything, it's a skill set. You have to be in sync with the marketplace. A shooting range participant, someone that has a firearm, if you don't shoot your firearm regularly, you won't maintain that high accuracy. It's a skill that has to be continuously honed or you'll lose it. Driving skills, racers drive, these fast cars. They have to be continuously working in their machine or they'll lose their rhythm, they'll lose their edge. And you don't want to lose that in the markets because it takes a couple weeks sometimes if you're brand new to get in sync. For me, it takes about a couple days, but right now we're in some really weird market conditions. So I'm showing you, and trust me, we're still on the same topic here, but I want to make sure you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing on Twitter. I'm showing you small little snippets in price action, not 200R multiple trades, not 50R, not 20R, but you've seen several 10, 8, 5, and you've seen 1-to-1. All of them are rooted on the things that I've taught either in my YouTube content or the mentorship model that I shared last year. Now, some of you are looking at some of the trades I'm doing. You're like, oh, I don't understand this. I'm confused. I don't see the 2022 model in that setup. You're right. You're right. Because that's not the only thing I'm going to be teaching you this year. I'm going to be teaching you how to read price in any condition. Because if you can't adopt that skill, you become a one-trick pony. Now, that's not terribly awful when it comes to being a specialist, doing one thing, trading the S&P over NASDAQ or Dow or Russell. You want to pick one market that you want to warm up to, start a long-term relationship with, okay? And young men, this is one of those discussions I revert back to, how are you doing in your personal relationships with your significant other? If you're not monogamous, that characteristic is going to find its way into your trading, and you're going to look constantly at what's this market that this person's making money in. Let me stop what I'm doing in this one and start following that market. And that, unfortunately, causes people to jump around all the time. And it's worse than system hopping because you're all chasing the better market right now. And excluding, obviously, crypto, because I don't think crypto is my forte. And I'm going to just leave that one alone because you know my opinion about it. But Forex, for a long time, you've all watched me teach and operate and engage in the foreign exchange market. And I've made public last year why I have moved away from that and returned back to my roots in futures. So while there are movements in the FX market, and there will be movements, don't think that it's going to be just like it was today, stagnant. Okay, Euro looks like it was, asleep. You can see small little microstructure setups in that, but I don't think that a new student should gravitate to those lessons. And me as an educator, as a mentor, it's not advantageous for you to learn how to do that. Now, for someone like a charter member that's been with me since 2016, I believe that they can go into the euro dollar today in January 10th, 2023, and down into a 1-minute chart and maybe a 30-second chart. They can find micro market structure in there and trade the same thing that's shown on that 2022 model, but be forced to be very nimble with it. 5 pips, 7 pips, and then get out, you're done. But to me, I don't believe that's something that you should be trying to do as a new trader. So what I'm doing is I'm taking you on Twitter and I'm prompting you to look at specific things in the marketplace. Whether you're able to see it live or not, you can go back and see they are absolutely right before it happens. And I'm taking your attention to the very candles that make the most sense as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I am calling the market. I'm telling you where it's going to go beforehand. That's where my focus. And then I'm showing you how I engaged in it. So when we do our live streams, I'm going to be talking about how the market moves from one place to the next. And most of you that are looking for signals are going to be very frustrated, but I want you to stop and listen to me right now. If you cheat yourself out of this experience, you will not know how to go forward with whatever I've taught on my YouTube channel. And I mean that sincerely. I'm giving you this opportunity so that way you can disarm yourself about having to be profitable right away, because that's unrealistic. If we were all in an auditorium, okay, we were in a big location, and I said, okay, who here, this is your first year learning how to trade? I guarantee you there'd be more people raising their hand up than not, because word of mouth is spreading. All of these folks that are wasting their money in IML and things like that, they're all talking about me now. They're saying, hey, look, there's a guy on YouTube, and this is where they're learning it from, and they're trying to teach it. And that's great. Keep doing it. The idea of sitting in front of the charts with me live, I'm going to bridge that gap that you all have right now. Even for those that are skilled and you can find your setups and the other things that you trade, I promise you, you're going to learn things about price actions you've never even thought about. You never even figured that they would even possibly be in price. Now, the reason why this is important is because it will help you identify what you're trying to do as a trader, because you have to have a multiplier. If you want a multiple of 3-to-1. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's rather easy to do. But don't negate or scoff at a setup that would be 1-to-1, because I'm going to tell you something. I can find 15 to 20 1-to-1 setups every single day. Now, how many do you need to do well? 1. And if you made 1 and you stop for the week, isn't that profitable? Yes, absolutely. So when you listen to folks, and I've seen so many people over the internet, on YouTube, mostly YouTube, because it's a platform that people like to get on there. They'll talk and they like to hear themselves talk. And I don't like to hear myself talk, but I want to make sure you understand there's a different way to do this. And when I hear folks put on their authority hat and they share their MyFX books and they talk down to everyone else like they're doing something that no one else can do, those returns that they show, they're rather, wanting. And when you see individuals talk from that soapbox and they try to tell you you shouldn't have goals, isn't it pretty obvious that they live by that because their returns are lackluster? And they have like this heart attack type, if they have anything going up in an equity curve, it looks jagged, like a roller coaster you wouldn't want to ride. Or it's just drifting down and drawdown, and they haven't connected it for a month or so. And then when they turn it back on, they're in drawdown. So these individuals, they're going to tell you, don't have goals. Don't do these things. A trader shouldn't have PIP goals a week. Traders shouldn't have a percentage return goal per month. Because here's the thing, and this is what you want to write in your book too. In your journal, you're going to write, they will say that the market can't be timed, and you can never know what the market's going to offer you. And put quotations around that. And right next to that, I want you to write, this is a lie. And then highlight and underline that. Now, I have had 3 decades of time looking at things that were a complete waste of my time and money and attention. And in the beginning, my first 3 or 4 years was just misinformation. I was overloaded with misinformation. And if you're a casual listener, or you're just starting to dabble in price action and you want to learn how to trade, looking at all my information on that YouTube channel, it could be rather intimidating. And if you're new and you're trying to figure out what it is that you should be focusing on right now, I think personally, if you're brand new, absolutely first time coming to the channel, just look at the 41 videos that I did last year in the 2022 mentorship. That'll put you up to speed. That way, at least you'll know exactly what I'm trying to do as a foundation in the live streams that we begin in February 7th. You'll also understand what I'm helping you build on when I'm prompting you on Twitter. Some of you are saying that you're confused. You don't know what's going on, and that's normal. It'll all make more sense when you're watching it over the chart with me. But for those individuals that have been around me for a while, they know what the premise is that I'm pointing to. And most of them are learning how to do better than they thought they were doing before they started doing that, because they've ignored real-time tape reading, and you have to do that. And that's the only real benefit of me being live with you, because I'm going to force you to look at the candlesticks individually. And I'm going to outline what the algorithm is likely to do, why it should do it, why it shouldn't do other things. And by seeing that week after week after week, this conversation and all my bullet point notes that we're covering is going to be much more meaningful to you. Okay, so this Twitter space, I don't keep a running log of it. There's a lot of you that are taking them and putting them on their YouTube channel, and that's cool. I don't care. I don't care what you're doing with them. I don't have a record of these. So I know that Twitter usually, I think after a little bit of time, they just go away or something. But there's many of you all out here that are recording them and putting them on your YouTube channel. There's another guy does it, puts them on Spotify, and that's cool. I got no issues with that either. But you want to go back to this one on the week of Christmas of this year, because we will be in holiday mode. I won't be trading. I'll be back in that quiet, not doing too much of just chit-chatting, no real trading. But I want you to come back to this discussion, and we're not done. I haven't even got to the meat of it yet. This is all just the monologue. This will mean much more to you then. And when you go into 2024, you will have exactly what you're looking for. You'll know exactly what you're doing. Because this right now, for many of you, is year one. Year one, 95% of the time is not a profitable year for any of us when we first start trading. It wasn't for me. It was not for me. 1992 was my first year, and I started literally 6 weeks away from the end of the year. Exactly when I don't want to trade now. See the difference? Because I felt like I had to do it real quick, and I had no idea what I was doing. And then in 1993, I had a flash of luck and then crashed and burned. So year 2, not profitable. So it's normal for you, and let me remind you all, it is absolutely normal for you to be learning and engaging in deep study, exercises, back testing, forward testing, tape reading. I'm literally going to take you through the real process that I've always taught in private mentorship that 90% of my students just simply didn't want to do. So you're going to have no excuse this year. You're going to know what it looks like to back test, how to journal, how to look at the end of the week, how to look for setups, how to go back and find your model. All those things I'm literally going to walk through like a student would be expected of me. I'm going to do it with you. So that way you can see exactly what it is that you should have been chewing on every single day and every single week, every single month, every quarter. And then by the end of the year, now you have something to work with. Then you make a decision. How do you want to trade? What setup are you going to focus on? All of those ideas that you all see repeated tweets and questions in my comment sections of my videos. How do I do this? And what should I do about that? You're going to see that many of those questions are personal. You have to come to those conclusions independent and uniquely on your own. You can't have input from someone else, just like the topic of this discussion, monthly goals, when they'll tell you you shouldn't have that. If someone tells you they don't believe that a trader should have monthly goals, I guarantee you, if you looked at their P&L and their month-to-month stats, they're not consistent. They're not consistent. So what is the multiplier? I apologize, you're going to hear me sipping. I have no way of editing these things out like I normally do in my YouTube videos. I've done pretty good. I haven't dropped one F-bomb yet. It's probably coming though. We have the choice of multiple setups when it comes to ICT concepts. So when you're looking at the marketplace, I don't try to take any of you or all of you collectively and like silly putty press you all into the same mold, because it doesn't work that way. And I felt that was likely to be the best way for me to become a trader when I tried to be like a Ken Roberts and I couldn't make it work. And then when I tried to be a Larry Williams and I couldn't make that work. And I tried to be a Jake Bernstein, seasonal tendencies only, no technicals, just look at, okay, this is the day it should do this. And then I lost money doing that too. And I did Elliott Wave, lost money. I did Gann, lost money. I used Hurst stuff. That's a different discussion. Dow theory, simple patterns and harmonic patterns. I've done all that stuff. Heikin-Ashi, Renko bars, point and figure. I've done all of it. Every single thing out there, I've done it. Volume profile, yeah. All of those things, if they help you, when I talk about how I don't like them, and if it's useful for you, it matters not what my opinion is. But I have to be honest when I'm asked what is my opinion about them, they're gimmicks. They're reasons for something. They're the catalyst for you making a decision and you placing a bet, just like anyone else going to a roulette table and saying, yep, what's my son's birthday? Okay, I'm going to play that number on the roulette. And my favorite color is red. So that's what they come to. That's their system. That's their gimmick. That's their thing that makes them do what? Make a decision. But then they have to decide how much money they're going to bet. They're going to keep betting that over and over and over again until they blow all their money. So it matters not really what you're doing to get into the marketplace, because you can make money if you're a good money manager. You can make anything, a coin flip, that can be utilized as a catalyst. But if you can't let your winner run and cut short your losing positions, it matters not what you're using. So what's the advantage of my stuff? My stuff is very precise. So if you add in the fact that it's aligned with the market algorithm, times when the market's likely to do certain things, look what happened today. I told you, close your charts. What happened in the marketplace? Chop. And I've watched so many people on the internet in live streams and on Twitter and on, well, I don't have an Instagram, but I have people that send me stuff that, look at this guy, look at this lady, look at this person. They're over there trying to do this and they're calling this and they're getting chewed up. You have to know when not to do something. You have to know when your son's birthday and your favorite color isn't likely to come up on the roulette table. If it comes up right on your next spin, what's the chances of it happening again? Right after that, next to zero. So you have to know when not to do something. And unfortunately, a lot of these folks out there pretending and masquerading as mentors and teachers, they haven't even been in the game long enough to know what it's like to be in a market that is not tradable. Everything's going to the moon. Everything's on fire. This market's lit. It's gonna run and blow the top off. or it's going to melt completely down. Everything's an extreme. And I get that. That's how you can tell their length of time in trading, because everything is an emotional experience. It's all hyped up. And that's why a lot of the folks that are in that's a cult. They don't like someone like me because I'm fuddy-duddy. I'm monotone. Unless I go ratchet ICT on a Twitter space, there's really nothing, that gets all that animated. But you want to be just like this with your money. Like, you want to be nuts and just insane with all your betting and putting money at risk on emotionalism and hyped up decision making? No. But you listen to these people and they'll tell you that they're trying to flip their account 100% every single month. And while I do believe that's possible, is it possible for you as a new startup? You just started learning about this stuff. Do you think it's realistic for you to have even considering at all that being a goal for right now? Because if you think that's a goal for you, you won't be here long.